Hi everyone, good afternoon from my home in Rania because it's a beautiful day and the sun is shining and spring is here and it's amazing. And I want to talk to you a bit about the idea or the concept of what we'll call the inner work versus or in harmony with the outer work. And the reason why I feel called to speak about this is that it's been part of my journey, for sure, part of my path, learn to balance the two things. And I know a lot of the people that I work with also right now are called to find more balance in those two things. I'm receiving a lot of messages or signs from people that they need more implementation, they need more time to put what they learn in the inner space into action, into a plan. I know that for myself, I've struggled with these two elements of these two aspects of life until maybe 3 or 4 years ago. I was really out of kilter and very much in doing a lot of outer work with little inner work. So very much about action and about to-dos and just about, feeling completely overwhelmed with life. And then I discovered my heart a bit more. I followed my instincts, and I experienced the kind of the flip side of it, in a way, the other extreme, the flip side of that same coin, which was doing a lot of inner work and struggling to put that into outer work. So really, giving myself time and space and really diving into my being, into all aspects of myself and into my growth, my development, my transformation, my healing. And both had a beautiful aspects. Of course, they had a very light aspect, and they also had a shadow aspect to both of them. And so what I discovered is that we really need to find the balance between these two things. We really need to be able to find harmony between living a life where we're deeply doing the work that we need to do, the soul work, the heart work, if you want, the mind, body, spirit work, the stuff that comes up along our paths. We can connect more to our true selves. At the same time, and as a result, as a consequence, we also need to bring harmony to the outer work. We need to balance that out with outer work, with creativity, with service, with that flow of expansion, of giving to life, and of whatever that means in terms of wherever you are, whatever job you're in, whatever you feel drawn to do, balancing out all this inner work with the outer work. And there's three main things that I'm going to invite you just to explore. And you might want to do this through some journaling, some breathing, and just writing whatever comes to you. And becoming more aware and conscious, first of all, of your journey and what's going on in your life. And the first thing I'm going to invite you to look at is your behaviors. So take a note of all your behaviors around what we'll call the inner work and the outer work. Take a look next at all the structures that you have in your life. Do you have any structures for inner work, for outer work? And take a look at your beliefs. So how do you define inner work? How do you define outer work? And when you sit with those things, really allow whatever comes up to come up. So you might, for example, find that you actually believe that inner work is useless, whereas outer work is the only thing that counts, that matters. You might find that outer work is the only way to make money, and inner work is completely unproductive. Those are examples of what is swimming around in my being, it has been swimming around in my being, and I've been dancing with. And the invitation through doing this work, through doing this little practice and this exercise, is to be able to feel both sides of this coin and know that actually they are in reality the same thing. Inner work and outer work are the one and same thing. So we perceive them as very different. In duality, we perceive the external to be different to the internal. There's a you, there's a me. There's a right, there's a wrong, there's a good, there's a bad, etc. And the invitation here is to notice, perhaps get a sense of how they are one and the same thing. So really finding balance by becoming more aware, more conscious of them, of how you are in relationship to both of them, and to feeling any feelings that come up throughout this process. And by doing so, you can become more in balance with both, and you can live from a space of unity where it even goes beyond the inner or the outer. It's not a thing of versus, it's a thing of harmony, and both things are happening at the same time. So as you're moving through life and serving and doing the outer work, you're also at the same time doing what we call the inner work. But that's the next step. So I gave you the next step. But first, I really invite you to just sit and write and bring more awareness, bring more consciousness to where you're at. So just to remind you, the structures you're in, the beliefs you have, and the behaviors that you're experiencing consciously and unconsciously. So of course, just a reminder, you might consciously know what is what and know all this wisdom, but what we're really asking here to look at is the unconscious stuff, is the stuff that's happening automatically beneath the bonnet, if you want. So take a few moments out of your time, out of your day, to breathe, take time for yourself, take a few breaths or whatever you need to do to drop into a deeper space, connect to your heart, and from there dive into whatever arises as you write or as you play with these concepts. Okay? And I would really love to hear what comes up for you, so please feel free to drop me a message or comment beneath this video. And good luck.